Hi, I'm Kevin Albers, the Sales and Marketing Manager here at Ducks and Cleats and ISO-Aire. First off, before we get started, I just want to give a quick thanks to all the school administration and teachers that are joining us online today for our presentation on the ISO-Aire solution for schools. For questions, we'll be taking them live during the presentation and also 10 minutes after the presentation ends. So just a quick little bit about Ducks and Cleats and ISO-Aire. We've actually been around for over 54 years. We're very experienced in the HVAC industry, whether it be custom solutions, manufacturing, design, and filtration needs for different facilities. Again, OR rooms, surgical rooms, paint booths, kitchen hoods. We know a lot about keeping people safe and how to manage air to get out contaminants. And we've taken this experience into our ISO-Aire brand, so you're not only getting an effective solution, but one that's built to last. There's a lot of ambulance chasers out there that have jumped onto the market with systems that don't properly work, and they don't have the experience of the different fan components and purification technologies. Whereas we've grown up in this industry, and we've taken all that learning and putting it into our ISO-Aire system. We're actually headquartered right here in St. Paul, Minnesota. We build our components with American-made components, and also we use American labor force right here in the US. So addressing HVAC for COVID-19. Everybody's probably pretty familiar by now with the fact that HVAC and air systems have been identified as a huge issue for the infection rates of COVID-19 because it's able to transfer through the air. So that something really needs to be done for the air. CDC and ASHRAE have identified different ways that facilities can keep their spaces clean with different technologies. Some of these might be higher MERV filters, UVC, or ionization, or HEPA. The hard part is it's so difficult for existing systems to be able to retrofit medical grade and proven technologies like a HEPA filter because it's simply too much restriction. So people are a lot of times limited just to a MERV 13, which still doesn't do the full job. And that's if they're able to get to a MERV 13. A lot of places like schools or older buildings are stuck at a MERV 8 or a MERV 11 or simply don't have an existing HVAC system. UVC is hard to retrofit because you need the right intensity. And with the existing air handling systems moving so fast, really what it's doing is keeping the coils clean and providing little to no effect on the air itself for getting those pathogens killed on that first pass. In ionization, the difficult part of that is they have a limited life, so they don't get out of the ductwork system and into the space very well. And that's where we took these learnings into ISO-Aire, is take these technologies in a single unit that work well together, put them where the people are, and that's in the room itself. And that's why ASHRAE and CDC are recommending the use of portable HEPA air purifiers like ours. So here's right out of the ASHRAE designer guidelines. Introduce portable, all-electric HEPA machines in each classroom. And the big piece here is at the amount of air rotations per hour. This is really critical because if you're putting too small of a unit inside that room, you're not getting the right effectiveness. You got to make sure you're having those right number of air changes per hour. For example, with schools, they're saying a minimum of 2. They're also saying another key piece is ensure the flow patterns are maximizing the mixture of air in that room. Now this is really important because if you're simply creating a little bit of clean air coming off the top of the unit, is not properly throwing that air and creating that circulation pattern, it's not doing the job it needs to. You need the right design and fan power, get air, clean air from the unit to the other end of the room and create that proper mixture flow. That's where ISO-Aire comes in. Again, it was originally built for healthcare and hospitals and keeping those spaces safe. We took those design requirements of being long-lasting, reliable, and quiet and made it into available for anyone else. Because we know that going forward, this is a key piece of addressing air quality to open safely. We're using medical-grade technology and proven technology, HEPA filtration, bipolar ozone-free ionization, and UVC sterilization to provide the highest level of protection. Not only are we using proven components, but we're pairing them with a proper size fan and a proper airflow design. So you get that proper airflow direction and mixture, the right number of air changes, so that way not only are you incorporating a unit that has the technology, but is able to make it work properly in that space. And it's ideal for a space small or large, because we have a variety of units from 300 CFM all the way up to 4,000 CFM. So whether you have a small conference room or a classroom, or a gym or a cafeteria that you're trying to provide clean air into, the ISO-Aire units can accommodate any size space. They're extremely effective and easy to deploy, and that's again, we're using proven components. They plug right into a standard outlet, so there's no hardware or wiring that you need to do. It's as simple as plug it in, set it, and forget it. We also know, especially for learning environments or healthcare environments, that loud units aren't going to work. So we've designed our units to be extremely quiet. They're actually the quietest ones in the industry, ranging from 35 to 58 dBA depending on what setting you have it on. Last thing you want to do is put a unit in the room that's going to disturb the space, especially in education environments. Where this comes down to is really safeguard teachers, safeguard staff, students, employees. These units really assure those people in that space that steps have been taken to provide clean air against pathogens, whether it's cold, flu, or even COVID-19. Key piece here, this goes beyond just COVID-19. It's very effective because we're using the right technology that we can protect against viruses, bacteria, mold, VOCs, and even allergens and pollutants from the air. This goes a huge way of keeping people healthy, in school or at work, reducing sick time, and just helping them feel better, being able to breathe better for that productivity side. Another piece here you'll see, it's a visual piece of reassurance. People walking in can see the unit. There's a lot of stress and a lot of awareness about what kind of air are we breathing. So being able to show people a visual piece really goes a long way to help reassure that this is a safe place for people to come back into. The components, and components. It's a key piece and essential thing to look at when evaluating air purifiers. First off, you really want a long life commercial grade ECM fan. Not only because you want it to be efficient and low energy usage, but you need it to be powerful enough and long lasting. We're using a commercial grade ECM fan for those very reasons. It's a very long life design, it's very quiet because we size it properly, and it's got the power to be able to throw that air, creating that proper mixture flow within that room. Not just creating a small little pocket of purified air by the unit, but actually being able to purify that room the way it needs to be. Key piece here on the life of the fan. Being that HVAC industry, we're able to pick these components because we've dealt with them in the past. We're very choosy of them based on long service life and effectiveness. These fans are used widely throughout the industry, and they're known for their long life. We're talking 15 to 20 year lifespan running 24/7. Last thing you want to do is be swapping out hundreds of fans from a low-end air purifier for your entire facilities. Again, going towards that concept of something that's going to last and be effective for a long time is really what we've done here. HEPA filtration. This serves as the first line of defense, capturing 99.99% of those airborne particles, whether it be mold, viruses, bacteria, allergens. We can also add on ozone-free bipolar ionization, and the key word here is that it's ozone-free. This works really good with HEPA filtration by helping neutralize pathogens and increasing the likelihood of pathogen capture by them clumping up and either falling to the floor or being able to move with that airstream. It's also great against VOCs or odors. Key piece here is that it doesn't replace higher filtration, it helps it work better. There's a reason why medical OR rooms use a HEPA filter and not a UVC or an ionizer in place of it. They use a HEPA filter because it's proven technology. There's also an optional addition of UVC sterilization. This damages the DNA or RNA of whatever pathogen being in contact with it. So, HEPA filters. Again, it's that first line of defense. They're extremely efficient at capturing small particles, even better than what they're rated at. For example, that rating you see there of 99.99 at 0.3 microns, that's its worst rating on its worst day. They're actually far more efficient at capturing smaller size particles of 0.1 microns, like that of the coronavirus. This is the same filtration that is used in a clean room or surgical room. Keep in mind, not all HEPA filters are created equal. A lot of manufacturers that have come to the market rushing into this space have gone the cheap route of using small little HEPA filters with a small amount of surface media. What that means is that they load up faster and need more servicing. Yes, they are a HEPA, but they don't last as long and you start losing airflow quite quickly. So you can see here behind me, our HEPA filter is way different and actually weighs more than many of those big box or Amazon-based air purifiers you can buy online. It's almost 35 pounds. That's because it has a ton of surface area for media. By having that high amount of media, we're talking years of replacement. So the usable surface life is 3 to 5 years rather than months. This is a huge way of saving maintenance costs of having to replace HEPA filters and also for the parts cost itself. This also helps ensure by us using a high capacity filter, we're able to move high amounts of CFM through that filter for long periods of time. 35 pounds, again, a lot heavier than many small ones out there today. It's all about get them as much surface media as you can in that HEPA filter so it lasts and you're able to get the airflow you need. And again, we use a high capacity design and a medical grade rating. This ensures high capture rate and a long life. You can see here, this one here, 12 inches deep, 24 by 24. This is not your standard kind of filter you find at a hardware store. But they're actually quite readily available, and we've actually designed it so that way you can use your existing filtration contracts for your facility, or you can buy them from us. But we've used common components so it's easy for anybody to be able to service it. Just a quick filter comparison. A lot of people ask me, well, what about MERV 13 versus HEPA? Well, since you can't put a HEPA in pretty much any of the systems except for pharmaceutical or chip makers, people are trying to get higher up with their existing systems. But as you'll see on this chart here, MERV 13 does not stack up to what a HEPA can do. It's a step in the right direction, but it doesn't do the entire job. There's still a significant number of particles getting past that filter and back into your space. Whereas a HEPA is able to capture an extremely near 100% amount of those particles. Another piece here is that when you're putting higher filtration in your existing units, like a MERV 13, if you can even get to a MERV 13, they start to load up really quick. So if you put one of our units in the room where it's going to be more effective because you're not reliant on the ability of the room's return air actually being able to pull it back, but you're also not having to service those filters as much. I've seen it quite often where people's MERV 13s are loading up quite quickly, and that's because they capture more. But now that facility has a higher maintenance cost and is up there servicing those units, whereas simply putting our units in the room would have equated the same kind of ROI in a short amount of time. And also provide a far better solution because you have the HEPA in the room, not in the existing system. When you have it properly sized in the room, you're able to get those number of air changes to get that effectiveness far greater. Ozone-free bipolar ionization. Again, a lot of talk these days about ionization, ionization, ionization. Seen a lot of people install it. It can work great, but there's some caveats. First off, how does it work? Uses these brushes here. This is a needlepoint bipolar ionization. We like this design of ionization because very low maintenance, it cleans itself, there's no tubes to replace. It's a nice set it and forget it kind of design. You emit positive and negative ions here from the brushes, which flow through the airstream and attack pathogens, odors, VOCs, because they're oppositely charged. So either cling to them and help them fall to the floor or help neutralize them. For example, on viruses, what they do, like COVID-19, is they attach to the protein coat and wreck that virus's ability to infect other cells. Bacteria they would actually kill because when they bind to them and pull that hydrogen away, it's actually splitting open their cell structure. Keep in mind that, again, it doesn't replace HEPA. It can help it work more effective because it can help clean that air before it gets back to the HEPA because you're flooding the space with ionization before it even is filtered. And this is because ions only last 60 seconds. So that's again why it's really important to make sure you have it in the space. If it's far up in the ductwork run, they don't always make it out of the ductwork and into the space for those high enough counts that you need. Examples here of some different pathogens that have been tested on it. COVID-19 has been tested on it, tuberculosis, neurovirus, MRSA, E. coli, mold. Again, this is a great partner for HEPA to have that offense and defensive strategy. Keep in mind, again, it doesn't work right away. It does need time to render that virus ineffective. And again, that's why OR rooms rely on HEPA. It's a great way to go, again, to treat VOCs, combine with the HEPA, or have it also help the HEPA attack odors. One more note on that, it's important to make sure you choose an ozone-free product. Look for that UL ratings. A lot of people have thought of ionization in the past as having a lot of ozone. Those were due to sort of less evolved designs of past. Nowadays, there's actually quite a few models out there that have an ozone-free rating and actually don't emit anything that's going to hurt someone. UVC sterilization, it's a great technology, it's proven to work, but again, you have to apply it right. If you're moving the air too fast past that UVC, it's not very effective. Basically what UVC does, it's all about wrecking that DNA or RNA so that pathogen can't reproduce. You need to replace the bulbs every year. 9,000 hours is pretty much industry standard. In our units, it's great as a fail-safe or if maximum protection is desired. The HEPA is going to do a really good job of capturing the pathogens you want. The UVC can be added on as that extra safeguard. Key piece here, it's important that you have the proper wavelength of UVC and the exposure rate. It's like cooking a pizza. If you just throw it in the oven and pull it right back out, it's not really cooked. Same thing with UVC. And that's part of our cabinet design as well. We're slowing that air down enough that we get that right exposure rate so you're getting the effectiveness you need. A lot of people ask, well, what if everybody gets a vaccine? Or what about after COVID-19? Well, the great thing about our technology is it's not limited just to COVID-19. It goes far beyond that. Whether it's other viruses, cold, flu, bacteria, chemicals, allergens, especially for people like asthma, mold, odors, and dust, it goes so far to help create a safer space and better indoor air so people can be healthier and be more welcomed into that space and be more productive and spend less time being sick and spend more time doing the things they want to do. This goes also a huge way for businesses to reopen, to reassure their staff and customers that something has been done for that air quality. Everybody is starting to realize how important it is to address air, and this goes a huge way to showing, look, I have signage, look what I've done, I've invested in your safety, and I have something that I can show for that. Here's some plug-and-play example installations. So on the left, you'll see a classroom. Middle is also a classroom. We've got some different sizes there. Again, whether you got a smaller unit or a larger unit, like a gym or a classroom. We have a variety of sizes and options available, so it's not a one-size-cup-fits-all kind of solution. Again, some more classroom, a bank, or a larger gym. The key piece, if you'll notice here as well, our units are not made out of plastic. We build them out of a durable 22-gauge steel. The reason we do this is because we've built this to last. Not only for the serviceness of it, having those long life filters so you're not changing things out all the time, you're getting years of filter life, but also the construction of the unit itself. Because we know that accidents happen. Whether you've got students bumping into it, people walking by it, where there's people, accidents are bound to happen. And that's why we built it out of metal. So it lasts, and it's something, an investment that's going to provide you that clean air for many years, rather than a plastic breaking or cracking or falling over. Another key piece here for our enclosure design is it's sound attenuated. Again, helping bring that quietness to that quietness of the design. You also notice some different colors here, whether white, almond, or gray is what you're looking for. We also have additional colors, and we can custom match to what your facility is looking for from an aesthetic place. So red, blues, just let us know what color you're looking for, and we can paint it that way. Some more examples of a band or a choir room, or even an office. And you'll see again, not only having an effective unit, pulling the air high, being able to get that airflow, pulling low, getting those contaminants out of the air breathing zone, not passing contaminants from one person to another, but also being quiet so it doesn't disrupt the space. I've seen it so many times where people install a loud unit, people just end up turning it off or unplugging it, which defeats the whole purpose of having it in the first place. We also have ducted example installations. Many customers just want to roll it in, plug it in, and be done. They're very portable, you can move them around, provides a lot of flexibility and an easy way to do it. Some of our customers, though, are looking for an integrated solution. So whether you want to serve multiple rooms or multiple locations throughout your restaurant, we can also duct it into your existing system, providing sort of like a distributed or integrated solution for your facility. So a great question just rolled in. What kind of maintenance is on the unit, and can you show us a little bit of the inside? This is our 1000 CFM unit over here. Give you an idea, simply open up the front cover here, and you can see we've got our fan, our variable speed controller, on-off switch, very easy to operate again. Simply, to change out your pre-filter, remove this little magnet strip. Pre-filter is located right here. Pull that guy out, slide your new one in. Do this every 2 to 3 months, and we actually have a new extended life filter that you can get as well that has double the lifespan. The pre-filter is very important because it helps extend the life of the HEPA filter, which is here. To change out the HEPA filter, it's pretty easy across our units. We use securing bolts to secure the gasket for a proper seal. Simply loosen those, the HEPA filter should drop down, change it out, slide the new one in, tighten back up, and you're good to go. Again, that HEPA filter is 3 to 5 year lifespan. We even have gauges on the side of the units so you can see the static pressure so you know when it's time to service the filter. Then when you're done, simply slide it back on and you're good to go. If custom requests are needed for a locking style cabinet, we can also accommodate that. Again, we've lived in custom our whole lives, so if you have custom needs for that unit, we can build that into the design as well. On our other units, again, they're also very easy to access the filters. Our smaller ones actually have the panels on the back and the control panel on the back as well. So again, across our whole line, very easy to service the filters. And the best part is you don't have to service the filters very often. So it's, again, going back to that set it and forget it kind of mindset. Another question popped up is, should I also do ionization in the ductwork? Or what's the effectiveness of it? Well, again, a key piece there is ionization doesn't replace a HEPA filter. It's really important to have that higher filtration with ionization. Because A, when you put it in the ductwork, it may recombine with something else before it actually gets into that space. By having the ionization right at the discharge like we have, we're able to get those high ion counts right there in the space without having to run through the ductwork. This assures a far more effectiveness. Now you can put it in your coils or up in your units, and it'll help keep your coils clean. That's definitely not a bad way, but if you're looking to get the best solution and the most effectiveness in the space, really having HEPA and ionization in that space is a way to go. Our units actually can help clean the entire building envelope because by discharging, letting them run 24/7 because they're such a long life design, your return air is going to help pick up that clean air being output by the unit. Another key piece here, if you don't have any ventilation, these are extremely helpful. Rather than trying to add a whole bunch of ventilation or putting new rooftops on, just wheel it in, plug it in. Another question here about the lifespan of the UVC. Again, that's about a 9,000 hour life. They don't burn out, they just kind of lose their intensity after that span. Typically what we recommend is pick a date once a year that you change out all your bulbs, just to be on the safe side. The ionization doesn't have any maintenance to it. The ones we use have an automatic cleaner, so there's really no maintenance there. It's just UVC that you have to change out. Question about what do these rest on? Are they on casters? Are they on pegs? What are they on? We actually use a high-grade commercial caster, so whether you use a large unit or a small unit, they're very easy to move around. So whether you want to move them from a classroom or throughout the gym or to whatever space you need, we've designed it to be a very portable system for you. Another question about what kind of amperage. These all plug into a standard outlet, so you don't, again, have to do any rewiring. The nice thing is For example, this is a 3.9 amps draw. That's max load. Even the big one, that's only a 10.4 amp. So most of your 15 or 20 amp circuits are going to have no problem running these. And again, that's at max load on the worst day. All the filters are plugged. They actually run typically at a far less rate than that. Color options, that's another question that's popping up here. Typically our standard colors are white, gray, and almond. But again, if you have a custom color or school colors or architectural colors you want to keep consistent with your design, we also have that available. All of our units do come standard with stickers. That's to help have this investment work for you, to reassure the occupants of the building that something has been done. We also provide door stickers to go along, so when people come into your facility, they see right away that this type of technology is being used, that they can breathe easier knowing so. Someone asked if we use a squirrel cage fan. We do not. We actually use a high-end ECM backward curve fan, as you can see here. Again, this is not your typical fan you would find in your Home Depot type air purifier. This is a high-end commercial grade, basically used in the HVAC industry for buildings. Again, we chose that because we want it to last, we need the performance, and it's got to be energy friendly. Any other questions? Looks like we got a couple more coming in. Again, feel free. We're going to be sending out a copy of this presentation after for anybody that would like it. I think if you have any other follow-up questions after, again, feel free to reach out to us. We've got, again, a couple more rolling in here. Someone asking, why do we pull low and distribute air high? The main reason for that is all about getting the contaminants out of the breathing zone. You want to pull it away so you got clean air to breathe. Get those contaminants down low into the units to be captured. And you're distributing that air high across the ceiling so you're able to reach throughout the room and distribute that clean air. What you don't want to do is blow my dirty air, let's say I'm sick, have that air coming right across my face, blowing to the next person. A lot of small, inexpensive units simply blow air out the top, not being able to properly distribute that air. And with our pull low and blow high design, the right fan power, we're able to solve that challenge by being able to provide that proper air mixture flow. Someone wondering about testing and sort of any kind of data behind on the technology of HEPA and also UVC and ionization. It's a great question. Actually, HEPAs are been used for a very long time. They're very widely tested. There's a lot of regulation around them. So you can't just put a rating on there for kicks and giggles. Like, even NASA's done a lot of research on them. They're extremely effective, again, below those micron ratings. So just because they're rated to 0.3 microns doesn't mean they're not effective to 0.1. They're actually far more effective on that. They rate them to their worst ratings. Typically, I would recommend looking for a 99.97 or higher. Look for that medical grade HEPA because those are the cream of the crops that you want. We have also testing that's been done by independent labs by various manufacturers on ionization, and there's a lot of independent studies as well on UVC. You can find those on our website as well. We have a great link there that shows different research links you can take a look at. Someone's asking about the clean air delivery rate. I've seen a lot of, that is a term out there. I've seen it for a lot of residential type units. I've seen a lot of manufacturers try to hide their actual outputs by saying a clean air delivery rate and we can cover 3,000 square feet because rather than saying how much CFM they have. What's really critical is take a look at what's your filtration and how much CFM do you have. And then how big of a space are you trying to treat so you can get the right number of air changes. We have 1,000 CFM, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 300, 500, and 750 CFM options. Again, you can turn them down if you want slower speeds as well. The key piece here when evaluating for your facility, put the CADR aside, just look at how big is your space, square footage, or cubic feet, and how much CFM then do you need to purify that space, because it's all about air changes. Again, a lot of people can play sort of slick marketing with the CADR and how much square footage they cover with that. But when you really break it down by CFM and air changes, it creates a pretty level playing ground that way. And ensures that you're not getting sold something that's actually not doing what you thought it would be. Get the right size, the right CFM output with the right filtration, you have a solution that's right size for your facility. Another question just popped up. Can you change the direction of the airflow? Actually, yes, that's a very good point. We actually use a double deflection grill so you can tailor the airflow left, right, up, down to what your facility needs. Really works great because every facility and every room is different, and where you can actually locate the unit may be different. This really allows you to tailor the airflow to what is needed for you, rather than a lot of other units come with a stamped out grill. These are commercial grade double deflection grills. Work really well. Again, all about making the unit more effective. Another question, good one here, is what if you don't want it on the floor? Well, we actually have hanging designs available as well. So if you want it in the ceiling or you want it off the floor and hanging from the ceiling, we actually have hanging models available as well. So whether you want it on the floor or hanging, we have, again, a wide variety because we know everybody has a different need and trying to give you the best options for what's right for your facility. And then lastly, how durable are they? Very durable. Again, we're not making them out of plastic. We're not using cheap end components. We chose the best components out there in a durable construction because we're trying to provide a long-term investment for you so you have clean air today and for many years going forward. So that's why, again, we use that durable 22 gauge steel construction, not plastic, using long life components, high capacity filters, and high-end medical grade technology. Actually, it looks like one more. Do we rent, lease, or finance? We actually do have leasing and financing options available. Just let us know. We've partnered with some different lenders that can help you with this. Keep in mind there are a lot of grants and funding out there, especially with the recent stimulus packages out there, especially for schools, daycare, and senior living facilities. There's a lot of options out there for you to have this kind of equipment or similar types help covered by the government through this new funding. Looks like that's it. Again, for more questions, feel free to send us an email or give us a call. We've got a lot of experience and engineers here to help everybody work through what their challenges are and get the right solution for your facility. I want to thank you guys very much for coming again to this presentation on our ISO-Aire. If you're looking for a personalized Zoom call or meeting with your staff or facility, please reach out, let us know. We're happy to schedule that. Our phone number can be found on our website at iso-aire.com. Again, we're happy to come out. We offer a lot of one-on-one consultations because we know every facility is different. The good news is we have the experience and the knowledge to walk you through on what the recommendations and what technology to look at to keep your safe space and have healthy, clean air for its occupants. Thank you guys so much and have a great rest of your day.